So as we set up those last ads, I want you to remember, one needs to be inviting people to join my email list, and one needs to be inviting people to purchase the paintings. Now, you can actually set these up so that people who've seen these earlier ads, the awareness ad, the Low Country Blues click the website ad, are the people that get to see the ad for joining your email list, and then later for the offer. That's the best way to do it. So I'm going to show you how to set these up, and you'll use custom audiences to do that. I wouldn't turn them on until those audiences get big enough, because right now I just created those ads. They're not going to have that many people who've seen them yet. I think all of them are active now, except the last one. But people haven't seen it yet. It hadn't gotten much reach yet because it's just started. So building a custom audience of that is not going to have a whole lot of people in it. But you want to go ahead and do that so that once there are enough people in that pipeline, you can run ads to the people who've seen your earlier ads. So is this making sense to everybody? So if you have people who have seen that ad, earlier ad, you can target them for your join my email list and buy my paintings. If you don't have enough people yet, there's some other ways around that. So when I initially set them up, they're not going to be going to these people, but I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's go and create some custom audiences. And this ought to be something you get in the habit of doing as soon as possible. So it used to, I don't think we can target the actual post like you used to be able to do, but you can create a custom audience of everybody who's engaged with your page. And that's who we're going to send the lead ad to. And so let's create that custom audience. And we're going to pick a Facebook page. And everybody who's engaged with my page. They don't have to like it. They're just everybody who's engaged with it. In the last, I'm not going to say 365. I'm going to say 180 at the most. And it's the page engagement audience. Now, I've already created this, but I'm just going to create a second one so y'all see how I do it. And you can create a lookalike at the same time. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to be done. So it's populating. And I'll be able to use that as the potential audience for that next ad. So I'm going to create that ad now. Remember, we need a brand new campaign because we have a different goal now. We have a totally different goal. And in this one, it's going to be a little confusing because they have it over here. Lead generation ads can be a little bit different. We'll go on and try that campaign. I call it email. Yeah. We'll do it this way. And so lead ads, here are the terms. Lead ads are hard to set up in the sense that a lead ad, you have to collect the email address out of Facebook. So you can create it, but I want you to do it with a great deal of trepidation because it requires extra work. What works better and is a little easier, let's go back to objective here, is to go through conversions. So that's why I said it's a little confusing, but we're going to do lead generation. See, in a lead generation ad, they have the form straight on Facebook, but I don't really like doing that because then you have to have a system to get them out, and most of y'all are not going to be set up to do that. So I'm going to call it Low Country Blues lead campaign. And we have to decide where we want it to go. And we want it to go to the website. Choose the conversion you want to optimize your ad for. I want it to be for website. And I'll get the event in a minute. It's gonna let's get the rest of it set up first. Whoop. Facebook, don't be so weird. I just changed that ad set name. Okay. And so for the audience for that, I have a custom audience that I made. Remember, I created an audience that was everybody who's engaged with my page. So it's a page engagement audience. And right now, it's slowly building up. And I can also add to the number of people, locations. So I frequently have buyers in other countries. So I'm going to include Canada, the country, and United Kingdom, those English-speaking ones that I talked about earlier. And I'll go with just European ones right now, just for speed. Okay. And again, I'm going to limit the age. This time I'm going to go to 30 because I'm targeting, narrowing that target in on people that might buy. And it's saying no conversions. It's because the audience is too small. So I'll have to tweak the ad some. That's based on the 7-day click. So we get down to, remember, I don't want it to go to Instagram because Instagram won't show the links. Now it's saying it will have conversions. And on budget, it's set at $20. It's going to cost more to get leads. So that's roughly about $1 a lead. That's not bad. So I could run it for $20 a day. Let's see what happens when it goes down to 10. Not bad. I may leave it at 10. So you want it to just stay where you get at least 50 a week. Here's where you can change that conversion window. And that conversion window means how long to count the conversion. So it's 7 days after they click or 1 day after they look at the website. So for this, a 7-day click and a 1-day view is fine. Just leave it on the default. And that is about it for that one. I have to put in the ad now. So we go to the one that had the call to the email list. And I haven't put it in yet, so I can edit it. And I'm going to add the link. I'm going to edit it and add the link and take out the periods so that it looks more like a native Facebook post. So any edits you do it before you input that ID. And there's a real reason why they don't want you to edit a post after you've made an ad on it, because they approve it, they look at it, they know it's okay. And if they let you edit it after they'd approved it, you could go in and do some stuff that's not okay. So all I have to do is click that link to join, get rid of that. And I'm going to add the link to the place on my page where people sign up for the email address. Oops, wrong link. Sorry about that. So I'm going to grab it from here. Get the link. And I'm going to add it to that page. Done editing. And now I'm going to grab that ID. I'm going to refresh that window, make sure the link shows. Can y'all hear that rain? We're having a downpour here. Yeah, it's all good. So I'm going to use existing post and post ID and click submit. And that's the ad for people to join the email list. I have a default event set up there and click confirm. Oh, I have to click a conversion event. And it will show me where the error is. So I need to put the page in there that I want them to go to. So that I have to pick the event I want to have happen. Remember, I walked right past that earlier. So what I want them to do, you're picking the thing you want them to do. It's not going to let me scroll down. There we go. Is I want them to become a lead. I want them to subscribe. And I need to edit the pixel code for that. I think that's a different page. That's why it's not showing correctly. So I need to go to, oh, that's a paid subscription. That's why it didn't want to register. I don't have that in there. I need to do lead. Come on, Facebook. I don't want the lead generation objective. I don't want that at all. It keeps trying to make me do that. And I'm going to have to set up the Facebook pixel event, I think. See if that fixes the error. Yep, that took care of the error. Now, another way to set that up is, which conversion event did I choose? I chose lead. I chose lead. There's another way to run that, and I think it's easier for most people to set up. So I'm going to duplicate that campaign, and I'm going to set it up as a traffic one instead. And I want you to see the difference. The traffic ads work really well when they go to a website link like that. So a lot of times to get leads, you are just as well off using traffic as your main goal instead of conversions. And the reason for that, especially if you have a small page and you're just starting out, Facebook, when you're doing it for leads, likes to optimize, can only really optimize if you're getting 50 people a week from that ad. If you're not getting 50 people a week, then it has a hard time optimizing for it. So the way around that, and the way to begin generating those 50 a week, instead of using the lead goal, use the traffic goal. So I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to leave the campaign name almost the same, but I'm going to add the word traffic onto the end so I know that it's a traffic ad. And then I'm going to go to the ad set. Come on, Facebook, catch up. And I am not doing, I forgot to change it over here. On the objectives, I'm going to traffic. Then I'm going to go to the ad set and adding the word traffic to it, so I'll be able to tell those apart. And I'm going to look at what I need to do for the budget for that one. Use the same audience, mainly because I'm going to turn off that lead ad later. I don't like running those as much as traffic ads. So I've got the same audience set up, and I've made sure that Instagram is turned off, so it's optimized for link clicks. And you can actually optimize for the landing page views, and that'll optimize it so that it'll make more people click on that link, actual link to the landing page, and not just click to open it up. So that part's set up. I'm going to go to the ad, and I'm going to switch its name to Low Country Blues Leads Traffic ad. I'm going to get rid of the conversion part. And it's going to use the existing post, and it's making me add the post in again because I changed the goal there. So I need to grab that post again. For whatever reason, it's not populating everything. Whoa, we've got thunder. Yeah, it's a bad storm out there. If I lose connection, lose power, I'll be back. I may have to go to wireless in case. Landing page views. Let's see why it's giving me the error. is being Facebook. Let's see which image that was on that one. Then I can identify it in here. Why is it not giving me? There are some very strange glitchy things happening on here. It would have been nice if Facebook had not glitched. There it is. I don't know why it did not look exactly the same as the last time, but it didn't. So sometimes Facebook can do its own thing. And it didn't turn the pixel on. You do have to go through and make sure that everything is turning on like it's supposed to. Then you can click publish. It looks okay. Yep, you're gonna hear another one in a minute. It's quite a boomer out there. And I'm gonna set up the last one the same way. Now I'm gonna have to actually turn these off after we get off because that collection's already gone out. So it's not going anywhere where there's actually a collection. So this last ad I won't even turn on. I'm fine with them getting on my email list, but this last ad is gonna be kind of a pretend one. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna duplicate it. So I wanna make sure that ad is selected. And the reason I'm gonna duplicate it is I'm gonna run it as a landing page ad again instead of a conversions ad. Just because I tend to see better results from running it as traffic than as running it as conversions. Although I know people who use conversions all the time and do very well, my experience has been that traffic works better. I'm going to leave that traffic there at the end. And I'm going to change the ad sets. I'm not going to use the existing ad set. I'm going to create a new ad set. And I'm going to give it a name, and it's going to be Low Country Blues sales page. Now I only need one copy of one ad in there. So I'm going to duplicate that. So I'm changing the post. So first I want to make sure that ad copied over correctly. And I'm going to change its name to sales, which it should have done when I set it up. Then we're going to go to the, oh, it did it on the sales, the ad set. Why did it do that? I clicked ad set and it's staying at the campaign. There we go. And add ad set to the end. I want to drive traffic to a website. The budget is going to be, I'm going to pretend, I would do, if you're getting down towards where you're trying to drive people to a sales page, it's liable to cost more, but I'm just going to set it up for the moment at $5. And go down to the audience. Now, at this point, what I would do is I am going to target everybody who's gone to that actual page where they sign up to become a member of my email list, that specific email list. So I'm going to make sure that I create a custom audience of people who go to a specific page. So it's website traffic. And I want to get everybody who goes to a specific page. So specific web page. And I'm going to go check that web page. And it needs to be that one. You can enter the actual URL, but it works better if it just says contains. So there's the contains that, and I'm going to call that my lead page, or website lead page. Audience. And I can go on and set that ad up even if that is still building and populating. So I click a custom audience, and it's going to be website lead page audience. And again, I'm going to go with people who are in those 4 countries, except learn how to spell Canada, Mary. And Ireland. And it's not telling me what the potential reach is yet because that audience is still building. And I'm going to target people who are 30 and up. And I'm going to turn off Instagram because there is a link in it. So you'd have to create a special Instagram ad. And it's optimized for landing page views to go to that actual page. So now the reach is up to 10 because it's starting to populate. Remember that a custom audience is still building, so that's why it's not showing very many people yet. Then I need to put in the correct post. And the post for that was this one. And again, if I need to edit anything in here, it's now or never. So let's see. Let me refresh that so that I can get it to show me the post option to edit. I want to get rid of periods. Although it really doesn't matter that much since I am going to get rid of that one. This one is not going to really go live. So there's the link at the bottom to the shop. I can click on editing and grab the post ID. And I'm going to change the post. So if I do it this way, it'll be easier. I'm not sure why that's not letting me do that one. If I go back through it again. Who knows why I did that? Now it's showing up. Cancel that. Who knows why it did that? It was being a butt. So Facebook is definitely glitchy today. There's my sales post, that last one, the close. So you can see how unsalesy that is. It was just talking about, again, a painting, why I love painting that subject, and the kind of feeling that I want viewers to get when they look at the paintings. So it's not a post that says, buy my paintings now, because that's not going to work really well. So I'm not going to publish that one because that link no longer goes to that collection. But that's how you would do that. Anybody have any questions on that one? Any questions about that one? That's the 4 ads. And I'm going to leave it in draft so that when I go back over here, and I unselect that, then I will get all my campaigns. It should not be in review because I didn't publish it, but it's being Facebook. So here we have those awareness ones. Here we have our engagement one, and here we have our conversion ad, and here we have our sales ad. Those are the 4 ads. So that's how you set up an ad funnel that promotes your work. Anybody have any questions about that? That was the magic secret sauce. You just create an ad that fits each stage of that customer journey. And that means, yeah, that one has a link in it. It sure does, Teresa. It has the link right down at the bottom. So if I were creating that from scratch and really spending a lot of time going back into it, I would, before I published it, I would add the link up here as well. Oh, that's the wrong one. Go to the right one. I would add the link up at the top as well, so that the ad is not so far, the link is not so far down. I would put it right here, or maybe right here. But so it shows when, you know how longer posts fold up. I'd want the link to show when it's folded up. It's one way to do it. So any questions on those? You can use that same exact process to market anything. So Teresa, if you create, hint, hint, that course, and Jacqueline too, if you create those courses that both of you have talked about creating, this is how you'd promote a course too. You would create ads from posts that lead the viewer, the reader, down the path to wanting to purchase your course. So absolutely. So Jacqueline says, what if you want to create an ad without using a post? So I want to make a case first for almost always using a post. And the reason to do that is the twofold reasons. One, it looks like a regular post because it was a regular post. The only difference is that now it'll have the little word sponsored in there. So when we look at this post now, if I go and refresh that window, it's going to say sponsored, unless it hasn't caught up with Facebook. It hasn't caught up yet. It will say sponsored right here when other people look at it. And that's going to be the only hint that it's an ad. People really resent the ads on Facebook. I have seen some real strong diatribes on Facebook about the ads. I saw somebody who is a friend ranting about that the other day, that she was incensed there were ads in her timeline and that she clicked on spam for every last one of them. Lots of people do that. And if too many of those get done on your ad, you can have your ad account shut down. So it's less intrusive if it comes from a post, if it looks like a regular post. So if you're not going to use one that's already a post, then I would make real sure that it looks like a post instead. So make sure it looks like a post. The other reason, there are two, second and third reason. Second reason is that using a post carries with it all this social proof, so that when people see it, they think, oh, she's more legitimate. She's gotten 319 likes on there and 15 comments and 14 shares. The third reason to do that is that ad is gonna be cheaper, because Facebook goes, that post has already gotten a lot of engagement. So we know it's going to be received well by a lot of people, and we'll show it to more people that way. So Facebook's algorithm likes it when it's already been a post. Those are the three reasons to do it that way. So if you create an ad from scratch, and let's create a sales ad from scratch without using a post. I'm still going to duplicate this one just to save some time, but I will change the ad up so that it goes to the actual real sales page. So let's go in, and I should be able to edit that. Yeah. I don't want to publish it. I want to edit it. So when we go in here, if I'm going to create it from, I'm going to change the name and say Greens Collection, because that's the one that's on the sales page now. And let's change that here. Let's get back up here and change this title. We should quit with the prompts. And come on, catch up, Facebook. So what you're going to do if you create the ad from scratch is, instead of using existing post, you're going to use create ad. And I am going to go back over to my page and find one. Okay, I'm going to use, just going to grab some of the copy off of here. So that means you have to write the copy. So in coming up with the copy, I'm using a previous post just to grab the copy, but you can write the copy separately. So if I'm going to create the ad, that means that I'm going to have a single image. You can use a carousel of images if you want to. That's another option. You can have a whole collection of things that open. I would keep it simple right now. So I'm going to use a single image, and then I'm going to select the image, and they're suggesting a 1-to-1 image size. I am not going to run the ad to Instagram. That's why it's doing that. I'll have to go back and change that. So I'm going to look. It'll actually let you pull images that you've posted onto Facebook. So I can look through here, and that image should be here. And it's just being slow pulling it up. It's going way back with images. I'm going to upload one and upload it instead. So I know exactly where that one is for once. And that one is Summer Greens. And it is a square. So now I have the image up there. Then it's going to prompt and it'll show you what it'll look like. And I'm going to keep it as close to a regular post as possible. I don't want it to look too terribly different. So when you're creating an ad like this, here's the headline. This is the thing that's going to be largest. It's the thing people see the first. This is a subhead. And then your text will be up above. Your display URL is the URL that you are sending people to. And it has to be accurate. So I can't send them to shop.marygilkerson.com when they click on it and then have the display URL be marygilkerson.com, because those are two different URLs. It has to be the actual website URL. So to get that, I am going to go over here and grab the actual website URL. And that is going to be what I put in here for the website URL. So that and it's not pixeled. So I'm gonna have to, that's because that's a separate website. I need to put the pixel on there. I'll do that in a few minutes. So I can not worry about the pixel. I'm just gonna ignore that for the moment. And it'll prompt you like that if you don't have the pixel on there. I'm just ignoring that for the moment. It is, I think, super important if you put a display link in that it be the same. Don't make different links. I would not put a call to action button on there because I want it to look very much like a post. Now it's pulling in the actual text from that page, and that's not what I'm going to have on there. So the headline on there is going to be something I pulled from that text that I was creating on there. So let's go back over here. I think to scroll up a little bit. So the destination is a website. Oops. Not sure why it did that. Okay, and in the description, I am going to grab that description. That I had for that page, and I think I closed that like a silly goose. Here it goes. And I'm going to use that, some of that text in here. And take out the period. I'm going to say that the Summer Greens collection is here. And Let's get the desktop view so that we can have a more accurate view here. Get rid of that. And the headline, I'm actually going to use this as the headline. And okay, the primary text is what goes up here at the top. So I can then put up here the same thing. I had the Summer Greens collection at the top of that page. And then I had this here next. And that might be all that I put in there. So it's going to be that simple. That's how you would do it, Jacqueline. And it still looks very much like a post. They're inserting that daggone call to action button. I don't want it. There we go. If you want to try using the call to action button, you can do that. I just think it's pretty off-putting to people. They've gotten jaded about it. So I just leave it off. Unless it's something like a webinar, I would leave that off. And it's still going to run on, no, it won't have that button because I put no button, you silly goose. It is definitely being a little bit finicky today. Okay. It's reading correctly now. And I think that's everything that the ad needs. Let's just double check the ad set. Daily budget set for $5. It's going to the website. It says traffic. All of that looks good. And I'm going to have to use a different audience because that one was the one for that specific page. So instead of that custom audience that I used in the first one that I showed you, first version of it, I'm going to have to use a more general one. So I will get rid of that. And instead, I could use the custom audience of everyone who's engaged with my page or everyone who's visited my website already. So it's a little bit more general, and it's not people who've been to the page about the Low Country Blues collection, because this is not the Low Country Blues. This is about greens, and I haven't run anybody to the greens collection. So I need a more general one. So I'm going to do website visitors for the last 90 days. And I'm getting 19 to 55 landing page views on that. Then it's ready to publish. And it takes it a minute to upload. So that's it. One final thing I do want to point out is that, and then we'll go to questions, is that you don't want to edit an ad after it's been published. It messes with the algorithm. So if you need to make changes to it, duplicate it, make the changes in the new version, and turn the old version off. Because otherwise, you'll mess it up big time. The ad won't run correctly because it'll take the algorithm a tremendous amount of time to relearn what's going on, and it's like one ginormous glitch. Don't do it. So if you need to scale it up, the one thing that you can change, the one thing you can edit is the budget. Now, I still don't edit it straight in the original ad. I duplicate the ad and increase the budget. Let that one run so that the algorithm gets used to it, and turn the old one off. So when you want to turn the money up, you can't turn it up really fast. Facebook balks at that. So turn it up every few days and only turn it up about 20%. Anything more than that, and you'll get a huge, giant glitch. So be real careful with that. Any questions now? We've got about 10 minutes left here for questions. So who's got any questions there? I would really recommend that starting out that you stick with using existing posts just to build up some of that know, like, and trust factor. And if you want to get daring later on, then create them from scratch. But I've found that ads that are made from posts work better. They're just more effective. And ads that are created from scratch always look a little adsy. So I'd be really careful with that. If you're going to do one for Instagram, then you need to make sure that the link is in your bio so that people can go to the link and click it. Any link that's in the ad is not going to be clickable. The only exception to that is that if you run an ad to an Instagram stories, even if you don't have 10,000 followers yet, you'll get the swipe up and people can go to the link then. So that's the only time I'd put the link in the Instagram ad. But any questions at all? Anything at all that you would have a question about there? So if we're doing that same ad for Instagram, then I would just leave the link off and I would go back and put in link in bio. You'll find the link in the bio, or the link can be found in the bio. And then I use a page for links, and so that I can have more than one link in my bio. So when they click the link, I don't have it up there right now, but when they click the link, it has a list of 4 or 5 different links they can choose from. And I would put whatever you're promoting right there at the top. That's the way to do it on Instagram. So any questions there, or have I been amazingly clear or just fried your minds? I have a suspicion that people's minds are just a wee little bit fried, and that's okay. It will settle back down again as you have a chance to absorb all of that stuff, and it'll begin to make more sense. So you're fried, Lisa? Yeah, I don't blame you at all. What I wouldn't try to set all 4 up at one time right now. What I would suggest for everybody in getting started is to start some awareness ads and run them for a couple of dollars a day. So you saw I still got pretty good reach there with $2. We can go back and look at that, $2 a day on the awareness ads. So if I go back to all the campaigns, my awareness ads, I don't know why those are still in review. My awareness ads had a reach, and we can see that. Okay, I'm going to have to click edit, or if I just click the ad, it'll pop open. Okay, over here, it will tell me, I've already gotten some impressions there. It's telling me what the estimated results are, that I'll get 12 people looking at it for those $2. That's great for starting out there. But just start with some awareness ads and let those run for a little while. And then once you start getting some traffic on there, you get some results, then run some engagement ads. You can start those now if you want to, but run ads to a really popular blog post on your website. I wouldn't try those sales ads or the ones to get subscribers quite yet. Just get comfortable with those first 2 categories and then slowly build up to the other ones. Any other questions? If things come to mind later, after you've absorbed all of that and processed it, feel free to post into the Facebook groups that you're in and tag me in it if you do have a question about that. It's going to take us a couple of days to get the videos up into the portal because we'll need to edit out like our little break pauses. Nobody wants to sit there and watch a video for 5 minutes while we have a break. But they'll be up pretty quickly. We'll get those up in the next 24 hours, I think. We'll get those up as fast as we can. So thank y'all for joining me here today. And let me know if anything else comes to mind. Look forward to talking with you again soon. Bye-bye for now.